Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Mr. Mriamdigital, and today we're going to talk about how to price your videos. Alright, so let's talk about pricing. So how do you base your pricing? For some charge small, some charge large. This is all depending on what their skill level is, what it is the service that they offer. So for me, I offer photography, videography. I also offer graphic arts from time to time. So how do I base my prices? Well, I'm gonna be honest. When I first started off, I was doing graphics, some for free, even as little as $50 to $100. This is while I was in college and I just needed something just to get by as extra income. So now let's talk about 10 years later. Now, I've also been published in over 50 publications. I have over 19,000 followers on Instagram. At this point, my prices have obviously gone up. So where do you set yourself at? So what is your skill level in the service that you provide? Some of you guys who do photography, you probably only 1 year in, don't have a lot of experience. You're still working on the equipment that you first bought. You haven't upgraded in a while. I say this, if you're gonna start basing your prices off your skill level, think about what it is that you're basing your prices off of. Some base prices off of hours, the final product. So now I'm gonna just start talking with photographers. So photographers, you just bought your first camera. I suggest you guys go out, shoot, just shoot. Don't worry about what the prices are. Don't worry about charging anybody at first, because you gotta think about it. You don't have very much skill. Nobody really knows what you can do. So my piece of advice is go out and shoot. I'm gonna be honest with you. First time I went full time with doing photography and videography, I simply did 3 months of free family portraits, and I didn't book no more than maybe 4 families per week. One, this helped me get my eyes sharp. This also helped me understand the mistakes that I've made when starting with photography. This also helped me build great relationships with families, because at the end of the day, if they love what they got back, they're gonna recommend family members to you, friends to you, co-workers. Endless. It's just the list can go on and on of the people that you can end up shooting in the future that you can finally charge a price for. So after these 3 months, I started charging maybe $75 to $100 per family shoot. And I was maybe shooting maybe like an hour for like $100 for every hour that I was shooting for families. After that, next thing you know, I'm getting into weddings. From weddings, I'm starting to photograph events. From events, it just goes on to what I started doing. So this is how I ended up making myself successful with just my first camera that I had in years. Now, getting into video. Video is a little bit different than photography. You gotta think about it. Video, it's a lot more strenuous work, mentally and physically. You're holding the camera for a good amount of hours. You're putting a lot of strain on your body, depending on how heavy your camera is. A lot of you guys, when you guys start shooting video, you shoot handheld. Nothing wrong with that, but you guys gotta learn. If you're shooting handheld, there's gonna be a lot of shaky video. Do you really wanna charge somebody a lot of money to have shaky video? This can, in the long run, damage your reputation. So I suggest finding some local artists in your neighborhood. Try to shoot a couple videos for them for free. I'm gonna just tell you how I did it. When I started doing videography, I started doing interviews. Why did interviews were the easiest thing to do, because if the camera was shaking, wasn't that bad. It's an interview. You're following an artist, you're filming them at certain shows. This doesn't require a lot of editing at the end of the day. This also shows you where your eye is at. This also shows you how to shoot. Documentaries and interviews are probably the easiest thing to shoot, in my opinion, when it comes to first start. Because if you put a camera on a tripod, you're just simply asking people questions. So now you're learning how to interview ahead of time, because this will come in handy later down the line when you start doing pricing for certain services. We'll talk about that later. So next thing you know, a lot of you guys don't even want to do that. You guys just want to jump right into music videos. Well, if you're gonna base your prices with music videos, you need to think about, what is it that you're providing? Are you coming with a good amount of equipment such as lighting, gimbal, more lenses than one? A lot of you guys go Black Friday, you go shopping for a kit camera, and it comes with your basic 18 to 55 and your other 55 to 200. That's all you're bringing to a video shoot. You guys have no lighting. A lot of you guys like to shoot in the dark and there's no light. And a lot of times your lenses can't even handle the lighting that you're trying to provide for this artist, because if you're using ambient lighting around you, usually a lot of your lenses don't go past your f-stop of 4.0, and your videos are gonna come out grainy because because you have to bump up your ISO more than your lens can even handle and your system can even handle sometimes. So think about that when you start to do your pricing. Shoot 1 or 2, 3 videos maybe for free. Learn how to edit. This is going to be the crucial part of your price. It's going to be your editing. Sometimes shooting, it holds a substantial amount of your pricing, but your editing is going to be where all of your pricing is held. Because you got to think, I base my pricing off now off of how many hours I'm shooting, how many locations I'm going, because I know that I'm bringing a substantial amount of equipment that I need to provide for this artist to get the look that they want. Another thing to think about is when you start doing your pricing, think about how much you're using your camera. Think about how much wear and tear you're putting on your camera. You want to at least charge a quarter or half of what the worth of your camera is when you're basing your prices. So you guys will go out and get a camera for like $600. Now for a beginner, I would say charge like $150, maybe starting off. When you're doing video and photography, you start off with like maybe $75 to $100 per hour. Some of you guys can do half hours, however you want to do it. That's just how you want to do it when you base your pricing. I'm just giving you guys a foundation to go off on when you guys finally start doing your pricing. Because I see a lot of people, I'm gonna be honest, I see a lot of guys overcharging and basically providing, and they're not providing quality worth the price. And then what happens is you get a client like an artist that pays you more than $400 or $500 for their video. You provide them a bad product. Now you got to think of the next videographer who they go to. They're not going to be too comfortable. Even if this videographer can provide a great quality video, they're not going to be too comfortable because they're going to feel like, well, the last time I shot a video at this price, I didn't get what I thought I was gonna get. Now you're kind of like giving this domino effect to every videographer they come in contact. And you got to think, us videographers and photographers, we're a community. So you got to think it's small. Everybody knows everybody. And artists talk. That's what I think when it comes down to pricing. You guys got to start basing your prices off of the product that you're providing and not what you think you're worth. Because sometimes it does come down to what we think we're worth, but at the same time, you gotta let your reputation and your image build with these artists to kind of give you that reputation of what you're worth. Because you gotta think, your worth is only based on perception of what your audience sees. If you're providing videos that's worth $350, stay in that price range. You have to think also, when you're pricing like this, you have to also think that when you're doing pricing, think of all the equipment and what the worth is of your equipment. If you have equipment that can't handle certain things, don't charge too high. I say go out and buy lights. I say go buy prime lenses. Prime lenses are gonna be your best friend. Unless you're getting like a lens like a Sigma Art that's 1.4, 18 to 35. Those are great lenses to get, but those lenses are very pricey. When you get a lens like that and you're paying $1,000 for a lens, now you can start anteing up your pricing just a little bit because now your quality is gonna go up. You gotta think of the worth of your equipment. You need to start charging at least a quarter to a half of what the equipment is worth. I'm gonna be honest. When I started charging for video, I started off at about $200, $250. Sometimes I would even go and charge like $150. I was almost at a point doing videos for $100. These videos were like freestyles that were short. Don't ever undercharge and get overworked. As a director, you control the situation. You know, if somebody doesn't like your price, there's nothing wrong with passing up a job. I understand some of us need the money, but at the same time, you gotta think of, is it worth it? Find a pocket for yourself when you're starting to do these videos and photos. Find your pocket. For me, my pocket was weddings when I started doing photography. So when I started doing weddings, I obviously did so many weddings that I was able to charge more for my weddings because that was my pocket. I got better at that skill, and I also upgraded my equipment for that choice of work, and I was also to provide better quality content for my client at the end of the day. When you have a pocket that you master, you're able to charge what you want because the client can't question the content that you're providing. Video, my pocket was documentaries, interviews. When I started doing interviews, I was doing them for free. As the supply and demand became more of what people wanted, then I was able to charge a little bit more than, I would normally would, where I can charge like $75, $100, $150, $200 for interviews because I knew that the content was becoming better and I was able to provide this quality content for this client. Find your pocket, find your niche. Find what you're great at. Master that part of what you want to do as far as photography or videography. Some of you guys out there just want to do video. Some of you guys want to just do photography. But I'm here to say if you're doing both, sometimes you can't price them all the same. Obviously, video is going to be a lot more because it takes a lot more time, skill, and it just takes a lot to do video. Photography, if you're really good at it, you won't really spend a lot of time on it, but some of you guys might want to do special effects, you want to do Photoshop. If you're providing these extra services, then you should probably be providing additional pricing. So with that said, if you guys have any questions, you guys have any comments, please leave them below. Like and share this video. It's your boy, Mr. Mriamdigital, and you guys have a good one. Peace.